You want to make money with landscape photography as a side job? In this video I'll tell you how to successfully build up a business, which exact methods you have to make money with landscape photography, and how it will even help you to improve your photography.
Hi my friends, nice to see you. I asked you if you have questions about landscape photography, and I got lots of questions about gear, composition, light and all these things, but what I didn't expect is I get so many questions about how to earn money with landscape photography. And I want to be honest with you. First I thought, I'm not a full-time landscape photographer, so what should I tell you? But then I realized that most of you who think about making money with landscape photography are even more interested in a side job than in full-time landscape photography. And finally, it's all about building up a business, and I know how to build up a business because I built up my business around 20 years ago, and this is not enough. It's a company for IT, marketing and business intelligence. So one big area of this company is that we help people to build up their business. So finally I thought maybe I'm really that guy who can help out you with this question: how to make money with landscape photography. And I will tell you exactly the possibilities you have to make money with landscape photography as a side job. But, and this is very important, let's talk about first how to build up a business. It will not only help you to avoid pitfalls, it will also help you to get an idea which methods are the right for you and how much money you should take. And I often heard the sentence, landscape photography is a business like each other, but I don't think so. For me, it's totally different to each business I've ever seen on this planet. So let me quickly tell you what you need to build up a business. And there are three really important points. First of all, you need any products or services, what you can offer. And the second thing is, you need a target group, what is interested in your products and services. I say target group here, not customers. You have to bring your target group to customers. This is really important because this is misunderstood in so many times. So the third thing you need is to get your target group to customers. And this is done by something that's called acceptance. So your target group should accept your services, your products, then they will get to customers. This sounds so easy, isn't it? But I want to be honest with you. There are some pitfalls. And the biggest mistakes, I think it is nearly done each time, each single time. Most people don't know why they want to build up a business, especially when it comes down to a side job. This sounds weird, but that's reality. And this is so important. You really have to know about the why to understand which methods are the right, especially for you. I mean, you will put so much effort in. Think about a rocket which flies into the wrong direction. So it's really important. Ask yourself, why do you want to turn your landscape photography into a business? And I want to be honest with you, I never planned to commercialize my landscape photography. I got asked. I just published my photos on social networks and I was asked if I would give one of my photos as a print. And the really interesting thing is, I said no. So why said I no? And this is really important. Landscape photography, for myself, has more power than everything I know on this planet. And I really tried lots of different hobbies. It brings me up after a hard day or even week. It makes me happy when I'm sad. It gives me energy and it protects me from getting a burnout from working really hard in my company. It's healthy, it's good for creativity. It's a kind of sport. It's also a brain sport if you want. It's an amazing hobby, isn't it? And the thing is, I feared to lose this all when I bring my landscape photography into a business. And very important, in landscape photography as a hobby, I can photograph whatever I want. No one tells me what I have to photograph and how I have to photograph it. I mean, let's be honest, if a client would tell me what I should photograph and how I should photograph it, it would feel like kind of prostitution, right? So I fear to lose my creativity, and this is the highest capital of an artist. I often heard the sentence, when you have your own company, you just work for yourself. But that's not the truth. You work for your customers. And it may sound egoistic, but I photograph for myself. But, and this is the really important thing, I really appreciate and enjoy when others appreciate my work as a photographer. So for me, it's definitely totally different from each other business. It's more something for my soul, I think. But finally, I really found a way that worked for me, because there happened something. So I got asked a second time if I were interested to offer one of my photos as a print, and you guessed it already, I said no again. But the interested person didn't give up. He asked me, but why? I mean, I was so happy when I could hang it up on the wall of my living room. It looks so pleasing. And he offered me 200 euros plus shipping, and I thought, that's interesting. I'm not really interested in these 200 euros. I was more interested in, when you pay 200 euros for something, it's a kind of pain. And someone who is interested to feel this pain of losing 200 euros to get my photograph hanging up on a wall, this is amazing. There was someone out who appreciated my work, and this is what I meant before. Ask yourself about the why. This is really important. And I think there is not really a right or wrong, but I think if it were just about the money, it would not really work for me. Ask yourself about the why, because it will help you to find out what to offer and how to offer. For me, landscape photography is not a business like each other. It's a lifestyle. I mean, I can stay myself. I can photograph whatever I want. I get paid with appreciation. This is the currency for art. Money is just a necessary pain to get the appreciation visible. I think it would maybe work different for full-time landscape photography, but for landscape photography as a side job, it works exactly like that for me. So let's begin with the most obvious thing. I think these are prints, and I want to be honest with you. That you are able to sell prints, you need to have your photography already on a higher level. So this doesn't mean that you have to be a world-class photographer, but I mean, if you started with photography a week ago or so and to think about selling the results of this week, I think this would not really work. So you need really a higher level, and the higher it is, the better it will work for you. So how can you find out if your level of photography is high enough? And I think the clearest thing were if you get asked if you would offer your photograph as a print, so how it happened with me, there was no doubt about. But what if you don't get asked? So what you can do is you could ask others what they think about your photography. But be careful, don't just listen what they say, also listen how they say it. Because when it comes down to landscape photography, in my experience, no one tries to harm the other. Most photographers try to support each other, and many say nice things although they had maybe a critic. They don't want to harm them. So really listen how they say it. Read beside the lines if you want. So how can you offer prints? And what I did is I started a web shop. But I only did this because my IT and marketing company offers web shops. So it was the most obvious thing that I started a web shop. I had everything I need therefore, but I want to be honest with you, it's not necessary for the beginning. The only thing you really need is a platform where you can publish your photographs, and that you mention that you would offer them as a print. So this could be maybe just a website, also Instagram, Facebook or whatever. But I think a website where maybe not the worst idea. You can also define a price there, and if anyone is interested, he could contact you and you could get your order over phone or email or whatever. It's a really great thing for the start, because it's also not all too much effort. And then there's the question how to print, and a good option is to work with labs. Sal Digital, for instance, offers fantastic quality. And when you got enough orders, you can engage more with printing by yourself, and you can buy your own printer. To be honest, I still work with labs. I were already on the point where an own printer would really make sense from the financial side. But to be honest, I didn't have all too much time to engage with printing by myself in last time. And I'm also not really convinced by the printers which are out on the market in the moment. So not sure for the moment I will stick with working with labs, but it could be that I will change this in future. So let's talk about price politics. Price is key. First of all, you can orientate on the prices of other photographers. It's really a great thing to get an idea what is offered for which price and which quality. So maybe if you see that your photography is not as good as another photographer who offers to a higher price, you should go maybe a little bit lower. So just that you get an idea and orientation which price range fits to your photographs. But it is totally important that you understand that the price is one of the most powerful elements to control the amount of your orders beside the quality of your photographs. So this means composition, light, mood and so on. So for example, I take around 150 euros for an A3 print. That's really much. And to be honest, when I would turn it a tiny bit down, just a tiny bit, I would generate more orders. And finally, I would make more profit. But again, this is not what I really want to have. I mean, I'm a landscape photographer, not a printer. I'm not interested to print a high amount of prints every day. I'd rather go out and think about compositions, when I can come back at the right conditions and take photographs. So you see, the why is a very, very important question here. So if it should be all about the money for you, it is better to lower the price a tiny bit to find out. If it goes too low, you also would get less profit. And if it's too high, you will get less orders. So anywhere between is the right answer, if money is the most important thing for you. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with earning money. So, you know, everyone is earning money. I'm sure you have any job where you earn money and so on, and it's a normal thing. So this is not more than the way how I do it. So as already mentioned, to offer prints you need already a higher level of photography. But what you could offer independent on your level of photography were, for example, one-to-one workshops. So when I give a one-to-one workshop to another photographer, or even also photographers, could also be a group of 2 or 3 photographers, they get my unshared attention. So they book me to help them out on a specific location or on a specific area in landscape photography. So why independent of the level of photography? You can offer 2 different types of one-to-one workshops. So when I got booked for a one-to-one and the level of the other photographer was higher than my own, I just led him to nice areas where he could build up a great composition by himself. And this works really, really fantastic if you know an area really well. So finally, I can bring him to a great location, and maybe I could also learn anything from him. That's really a great thing. And if my level of photography is higher than the photographer who booked my one-to-one, I can give him tips about photography, composition, light, prediction of weather, whatever he asks me. This is interesting, especially when people want to know how I work as a landscape photographer. So if you're not the best photographer of the world, but you know an area really, really well, offer a one-to-one workshop. So how can you offer a one-to-one workshop? And I think this is really easy. Just mention on your social networks and even on your website that you offer one-to-one workshops. So the people who are interested could contact you and you could find any agreement. So the why is also interesting here. I found out that giving workshops is an amazing way to improve my own photography. And it doesn't matter if the members are on a higher or lower level than myself. It's so refreshing to engage with basics again. You start to see things in a different way. And I also started just because I got asked. I thought it were maybe an interesting experience, and it definitely was. So what about the price question? I see it generally similar to the prints, but on the other hand, I don't have necessarily to control the amount of the orders over the price. I also could control it over the numbers. Maybe price and numbers. This means whenever I feel I have enough time and I get the question for a one-to-one workshop, I say yes for a fair price. If I don't have enough time, I say no, independent on the amount of money I would get offered. One-to-one workshops are easy to organize. You just get contacted, you make an appointment and you make the workshop. But it's really more difficult for group workshops, especially when they go over more days. So we have to organize everything in front. Where to sleep, where and when to eat, where and when to hike, that you get there where you get to eat. I put so much effort into my free group workshops for 2020. I got sold out, but then I had to cancel everything because of COVID-19. This is also the reason, by the way, why I will offer no workshops for 2021. I calculate with 2022. So if you're interested, you have to wait a little bit. But I think one-to-one workshops maybe I will offer also in 2021. But meanwhile, I think I can move so much more here on my YouTube channel. I think it's really an advantage if it's not all about the money. So which requirements do you need to offer group workshops? And I think it's not enough just to be a location guide. You need already to be on a higher level of photography. But also here it doesn't mean that you need to be a world-class photographer. I think if you were maybe an advanced photographer and you would offer group workshops for beginners, it definitely will work. What I do is I offer workshops for each level of photography, and this has the advantage that the skills of each photographer in the group are different, so each photographer can learn from the other. It's really fantastic. So the question about the why and the price, I think, is nearly similar to one-to-one workshops. Another really great way that doesn't need the highest level of photography is a calendar, for example. It's not also expensive and you will sell more, but to be honest, I never offered a calendar by myself. Not sure, maybe I got never asked therefore. You will laugh, but I started this YouTube channel because I got asked therefore. So you see, you just have to ask the right questions. But however, as I don't have experience with calendars, it doesn't make sense to recommend you any lab or where you can print calendars. So if any one of you has experience with a calendar, just leave a comment below as additional information for this video. The question about my personal why is also interesting. I'm not sure, as already mentioned, I never did it by myself, but maybe it were also a kind of appreciation to make people happy who want to have a calendar from me, something like that. And with a fair price to, just to make people happy. These were just some examples how you can make money with landscape photography, but there are no limits set to creativity, obviously. So I had the idea, for example, to offer a kind of relaxing photography workshops for business people. So because I knew by myself, when I work really hard for my company, and you really have to do this when you do this full time, so I knew landscape photography always had the power to bring me up again. And I thought it were amazing to bring this power to other business people. But to be honest, I never had the time for this project. And I also thought I rather work with other photographers who are really passionate about photography and not that just a businessman comes here just because his boss said he must. I rather produce more videos here on this channel than offer something like that for money, to be honest. And there are so many more possibilities to make money with landscape photography. So maybe you have any ideas how to make money with landscape photography which have not been mentioned in this video. Please comment it below the video and also go through the comments of the others. So maybe there is any interesting tip especially for you. And I'm always happy about your questions. So if you have any questions about landscape photography, if you struggle in any specific areas or whatever, if you want to have any special video for any area, just leave me a comment below. I'm really happy to help you out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, please give me a thumb up. Share this video with your friends, maybe on Facebook, Instagram. It would really help me to grow this channel. Subscribe to my channel if you didn't have already. Thank you so much for watching. See you next Saturday. Bye.
I'm the landscape you need to see. You are the artist I'll never be. Stay with me and I have no doubt you'll make a painting that makes you proud.